How's it going, world? This is Tyson Paul from WinTheLaughs.com, and today I get the esteemed honor of basically getting to talk to one of the wildest people in stand-up comedy, as she has a new comedy special set to premiere on Friday on OnlyFans called Sorry Dad. So the title alone should let you know how great and how wild of a ride you're into. So let me introduce her. You've known her all these years. You've seen her all over the world, but she's here with us right now. So let's give it up for Miss Brittany Schmitt. How's it going, Brittany?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty
Yeah.
good. So I got to watch the comedy special, and my first question for it is, what did your spiritual advisor think when they saw the special?
My spiritual advisor, they haven't seen it yet. They haven't seen it yet. So we'll see. I don't let my spiritual advisor, my therapist, um see. I don't let her see it until it's out because I always joke about her in it. So
That is true. The therapist did get a lot of material.
yeah,
I
she
don't
got a
even
lot.
I don't even know if she's your therapist anymore. Like,
Yeah.
to apply for a new therapist.
Yeah.
Okay, so you called the comedy special "Sorry Dad" that premieres this Friday on OnlyFans.
Hmm.
In a minute, but just wanted to start off by asking you: did you think of the title before you wrote this special, or after you saw what the special became?
No, it's kind of been a title that I've wanted to use for a long time. But my friend has a brand called Sorry Dad, so I didn't want to steal her steez. So what I did instead was incorporated her into the production and had her fly out and kind of help with the set design and all that stuff. So Sorry Dad is something that I've wanted to use for a long time, but I didn't want to steal it, and so I found a creative way to license the name. But I think because, so all of my specials, my dad always says to me, he's like, I would think you were really funny if you weren't my daughter, because I obviously talk graphically about sex and openly about my mom's suicide. And there's a lot of stuff that, like, some people don't think that's funny, and I do. So I just thought it would be funny to name the special Sorry Dad. So, and it felt like the perfect time because my dad went through some health stuff this year, and I kind of wanted to make a little homage to him because he's, the person who taught me kind of how to laugh at everything and how to make everything funny. And even if it's not, he always says the worse life gets, the funnier it gets too. So it was kind of like a whole through line for the special. It was incorporating my dad into it.
Mhm. Yeah, and you filmed it. You filmed it in Chicago, and actually, is this the first time you've shot a special and your family was actually in attendance?
Yes, yes. I've never had any family members at my special ever. I don't think. No, I haven't. It's usually a more of a solo mission, but Chicago's close to home. I'm from Milwaukee, and my sister and dad wanted to come down, so I said, "Come on down."
Did it make it more nerve-wracking or actually easier that they were in attendance?
It was actually probably the most nervous I've been to film a special for a couple reasons. One, I was so excited about the material and I loved it so much. And, sometimes when you get too excited about stuff and then you get on stage and then it's like, oh no, that wasn't how I wanted it to go. And also, I had eyes on me that I'd never had on me while I was doing a special before. Like, my dad was there, my sister was there, my new boyfriend was there, and it was his first time seeing me do stand up. And
You let your new boyfriend go through all that material?
yeah, yeah, and he was great. It was funny though, because in the beginning of the show, I was like looking out while the openers were on, and
Mhm.
he chose to sit front and center. And I was like, he doesn't know. If you're not a comedian, you don't know how distracting it is to have somebody that you know right in your eyesight. So I had to have a friend run out and move him to the back of the room. And then actually, there's a rule that, like, when I'm on stage, you can't get up to do anything. And he got up and went to the bathroom at one point. They're like, your boyfriend just walked out. And I was just like, well, whatever.
He was in for a wild treat.
Yeah.
You most comics when they're doing putting together a comedy special, it usually takes about a year and a half,
Hmm.
basically in the process of writing the first material or thinking of the idea and then seeing it to its final like edit.
Hmm.
How long did this process take for you? And basically, when did you think to yourself, like, okay, it was time for a comedy special, a new one?
Um, it took about a year and a half. I put out Horny on YouTube, August 8th of 20, God, I can't even remember, 23. Um, and then, yeah, I was on the road working this material out, and I kind of told myself I wasn't gonna shoot another special until someone came to me and wanted it. Because what I'd done with my first two was self-produced and self-funded, which
Mhm.
is really, it's great to invest in yourself, but I think I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do that again until someone's ready for it. And then I worked with OnlyFans TV on a short. They do OnlyFans TV short comedy specials, like 10 minutes, and they were just so buttoned up, and their production was great. And then we kind of just got into chats about like what would it look like to do a longer form special, and we pulled it all together. And their team was amazing, and the production team was amazing, and OnlyFans was a great partner. And yeah, we had a lot of fun shooting it.
Now, people, it's actually kind of funny because, I mean, the special is Sorry Dad, and like in a way, it's kind of like Sorry Dad. You can only see this on OnlyFans, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has if he really wants to be a support system, he has to get an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, yeah, and this is how my dad gets an OnlyFans. My dad didn't even know. God bless his heart. He didn't even know what OnlyFans was, and I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah. Do you want? Because I think OnlyFans, when it comes to comedy specials, or longer comedy special, I think you're the third person that's actually shot a full comedy special with them. Do you think more comedians should look into OnlyFans as a way to basically get their comedy specials out there? um as far as like going the independent route, how you did with the first two, when you like basically self-produce and put them on YouTube, what would you say like is the pros and cons of, like, or if there are any cons of OnlyFans?
Yeah, I could say the pros are they're extremely buttoned up. They're very professional. They were very easy to work with, and they were good partners. The con is that you can only see it on OnlyFans TV. So if people, for whatever reason, don't want to do that, then it won't be seen, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I would say that's the only con.
Mhm, mhm. So the only well, I mean, but also like, I mean, actually, it's a way to embrace OnlyFans as being more than just what people usually consume.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? They're working out of kind of an image that they have from the past into a new future and trying to, trailblaze a little bit into a new space. And I think comedy is a good start. There's a lot of, crossover between sex and comedy and, the two worlds, but they're definitely going for it. So I do think comedians should consider it if it's right for them. It's not right for everyone. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's completely because so we'll get into the material right now. I mean, you basically started off, I don't want to give away the special because I think people should actually see it, but you started off with basically talking to your therapist, and then that led into basically you talking about your divorce and what it's like getting back out here on the streets. What's
mhm.
it like as a comic, getting back after divorce? And then on top of that, what does your husband or ex-husband uh, think about the special, or should he watch the special?
He won't watch the special. He stopped watching my stuff after we got divorced, which I think is a good idea.
Uh,
He and I are still very good friends, and we have a good relationship, but he doesn't really need to support my career anymore. That's not his job. So, yeah, no, what was the first question? Sorry, I forgot it.
Basically, what's it like, basically being a
Oh,
comic
yeah.
out here with a hot special out here in the streets?
Out here in these streets. I mean, listen, the thing is, like, post divorce, I learned a lesson that I've learned a few times, which is like when you try to make something funny that's not funny to you yet, the audience can feel it. So I
Mhm.
think in Horny, the special I put out a year and a half ago, I was still really working through the emotions of that divorce, and I was too raw to make it funny yet. So I did the best I could to make it funny while still being respectful to my ex-husband, because he is, so important to me, and I do have like I'll always have a deep love for him, so I don't ever want to disrespect him or the marriage or the time we spent together. But yeah, being out in the streets, I got my ass kicked. It was not very nice. So I got my ass handed to me, as you will see in the special. Like I really struggled dating and hooking up and all that stuff. So I'm happy to be back into a relationship where it's nice and safe.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Especially because I mean, there's a there in the material or in the special, there's parts where you find out like dating a celebrity is hard, dating a pro athlete is hard,
Yeah.
but also funny at the same time. My thing is with you, like a lot of your material is very very shocking if you see it live, like
Yeah.
especially if you haven't seen your stand up. Unless this is the first time, when do you know what's the difference between going for shock and then just going like to laughter?
Well, I think a lot of the shock comedy comes in. Well, actually, no. I was gonna say I do mostly the shock comedy with my mom and her death. Um, it's really shocking, but I can make audiences quite uncomfortable, so I have to like acknowledge that I'm making them uncomfortable when I do it. I'm not doing shock comedy for the sake of shock comedy. I'm doing it. It's like my life has been shocking,
Mhm.
and I don't want to sugarcoat how crazy it's been. So if it shocks you, then like just know it also shocked me.
Yeah, she says it shocked me more. It shocked me
Yeah, exactly.
more. I get with it being said about being a shocking comic, because especially in this age now where most comics are worried of risking their careers for material, but you seem like very very brave. Um, do you think like you'll ever tone it down, or do you always think, or actually do you think like in the future you'll ramp it up?
I don't really have plans to do either. I think what I do when I do my comedy is I tell the truth. So it's like whatever the truth of the situation is, that's what I'm trying to relay. So it's not about amping it up or toning it down. I'll never tone myself down for anyone or anything. Like that's just not my brand. I worked in advertising before I worked in comedy, and I think I was a creative, and I would always have the brands tell me like, "Oh, this is too much," or "This, like, you can't say that." And I hated being told I can't say something. So that is like kind of why I got into comedy, because it's the only art form where nobody can tell you what to do or say. So I think that's it. I'll just kind of keep going with my own internal North Star to what I think is funny.
Yeah, and then you're okay with your personality and material, like basically, I mean, not pleasing anybody, everyone, but like basically, because I for a lot of comics in your lane, it makes it harder for basically you to go corporate. Are you're okay with always being that way, being a trailblazer in your own right, and working?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and thank God for that.
It's, but I mean, even though you're not everybody's cup of tea, you're definitely everybody's whiskey. So
There you
that
go.
there you go. That works. That
There
works.
you go.
Your sister, you added your sister into the special. First of all, like when you said the jokes about your sister, everybody immediately thought to themselves, like, yeah, you know what? In a way, she's not a doctor or a scientist.
Right, right.
Does your sister ever think of herself as a comedian?
No, but she's funny. She has a good sense of humor. Like she was also there for the special recording, and she loved those jokes, even though, I'm taking little digs at her. The thing is, if you really listen to the jokes, I'm actually not taking digs at her. I'm taking digs at the rest of our family and how unintelligent we are, because my sister is so highly intelligent that she's just a complete outlier in our family. So if you really listen to the jokes, I'm not making fun of her. I'm making fun of us.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're not laughing at you. We're laughing at us
Yeah,
while you get to laugh with us.
yeah,
Actually,
sense. So, yeah.
nice, nice. And then after this, so I mean, your special is complete.
Uh-huh.
What would be next for you when it comes to? Are you like already preparing to shoot another special, or you plan on touring?
No, I'm touring. I actually just did Denver last week and I'm working out my new hour. So that was my first time saying all those jokes out loud. And I'm feeling all right about it. But, I'm just like, yeah, it's like this weird feeling after you shoot a special, you feel naked because you don't, you can't use those jokes anymore. And you worked on them for so long and they're your babies and they work. So it is a really kind of complicated transition, but I'm excited to write. I have no plans for another special, but I never do. So,
What if you're at a live show and fans want to hear the joke? Like, will you still do it then, or is it completely retired?
I mean, I can if I've had fans do that before where they like shout out jokes they want to hear. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell that joke, but it doesn't pertain to what I'm talking about at all right now. So if a fan wants to hear a joke, I will say it if I can remember it. Here's the thing, after I shoot specials, my brain like flushes the joke out. I can't remember it. I'll hear old jokes of mine and I'm like, wow, that was a good joke. Like I can't, I just like can't, I didn't even remember that I said it, or it just doesn't like stay in my brain that long. So if I can remember it, I'll say it, but I can't always remember it.
Mm-hmm. And then, do you plan on doing any other ventures along in comedy? Like, also, are you thinking about maybe directing other comic specials or doing other projects?
So I actually directed and produced my friend Mateen Stewart's special. And that one it's kind of keeps getting delayed with when it's going to be put out. But that one will be coming out soon. And no, I'm not dying to direct or produce anything else. I'm open to it, but right now it's just me and my little podcast and writing, and I'm keeping busy.
Yeah, actually, I love your podcast. You
Thank you.
recently re-released Talking Schmidt.
Yeah.
Do you plan on basically putting this podcast, not just having comedians as guests? Like, do you plan on doing it where you're having actual like other celebrities or other genres as guests as well?
Yeah, I'm not as focused on celebrities. I'm more focused on health and wellness because that's kind of what's more important to me. I think you can hear famous people talk on every other podcast. So this last episode, I had my personal trainer on. I'm shooting with my therapist tomorrow. I'm just having some more focus on health and wellness, and I think things that'll make people's lives better rather than just kind of more celebrity stories or that kind of stuff. I think that's really been done. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. And then, last but not least, your dad got to make an appearance at the end, and basically you talked about how you guys had a health scare and how he was able to make it through and be able to watch you do your special. How proud was that moment, like being able to have your dad on there? And then, why didn't you let him do 5 minutes? He's hilarious.
I know, he's so funny. He's so shy. So it's really funny because he's really a lot like me. Like he, still drinks and has beers and stuff, but he is really a lot more introverted when he's sober, and then when he's drinking, he'll like get a little looser. But I tried to have him on my podcast once and he just was a completely different person. He like clammed up. He wasn't telling jokes. He seemed a little scared. And it's just that fear of being perceived or being listened to or whatever. So he could do it. Like if he and I did a show together, he could do it. I think if he felt like a little more safe, but it's not, it's not his thing. Although he is the funniest person I know, and I wish he could get over it because he would be so funny on stage. But yeah.
A Daddy Schmidt podcast.
Yeah, Papa Schmidt. I had him on my last podcast and he was a hit. Everyone loved him. So I'll probably bring him back on this one.
And then, because actually, look, how long ago was in the beginning? Because in the beginning of the special, you have a actual voice message from him.
Yeah, yeah.
that I don't know, like if he was like he knew you were just doing a special, or if he just randomly called you on a Tuesday and basically told you like, please don't do this.
Yeah, no, it was when he was driving down to Chicago to watch me film the special, and he just was like, could you clean it up a little bit so it doesn't look like I raised common street trash? And then I did the opposite.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that actually, I think that's the best intro like of a comedy special in 2025, maybe for the past like 5 years, because nobody ever would think like of to do anything like that. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Congratulations on that. I love how your dad is a very big part of your life and your material, and how much respect you have for him. And and how funny he is, because definitely I thought he could play guitar.
Yeah, I know. It was so funny. I mean, I had never heard the joke before. My sister said he had been reciting it, but I had never heard it, and I laughed so hard. But it was really funny.
Yeah, but oh man, it was a pleasure talking to you, Brittany. I can't wait for everybody to see the special and basically be shocked and in entertained at the same time. Her special, Sorry Dad, comes out on OnlyFans this Friday, so be sure to check it out. My name is Tyson Paul. This is WillingToLaughs.com, and always remember to laugh at life because it's actually pretty funny. Thank you, Brittany, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I will.